Hari Om. Now, Kalisantaranopaniषद, section 3, Nama Japa Mahima. Nama Japa Mahima. Nama bhihi japaha iti nama japaha. Nama japasya mahima iti nama japa mahima. Nama bhihi, naman, napusakalingam, tritiya bahuvachanam. Japaha, japa, adjective. Jap kartari ach, muttering, whispering. Japaha, muttering prayers, repeating prayers, like that, in an undertone. Repeating passages of the Veda or names of deities, like that. A muttered prayer, counting silently the beads of a rosary. Mahima, Mahiman, masculine. Mahat imanit tilopaha, greatness, figurative also. Aimalayaja mahimayam kasya giramastu vishayaste. Like that, some examples. Mahima, glory, majesty, might, power. High rank, exalted rank or position, dignity, personage. One of the 8 siddhis, the power of increasing size at will. Nama japa mahima, the greatness of muttering, doing japaha of these Shodashanamani, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, etc. Now, this portion, Nama japa mahima portion of this Kalisantaranopaniषद is Yatha Samhitam, as per the original text. And then Padachhedahi. Punarnarada papracha Bhagavan kosya vidhiriti. Punaha naradaha papracha Bhagavan kaha asya vidhihi iti. Tam hovacha nasya vidhiriti. Tam ha uvacha na asya vidhihi iti. Sarvada shuchirachuchirva पठन ब्राह्मण सलोकताम समीपताम स्वरूपताम सायुज्यम एति. सर्वदा शुचि अशुचि वा पठन ब्राह्मण सलोकताम समीपताम स्वरूपताम सायुज्यम एति. यदास्य षोडशकस्य सार्धत्रिकोटिर्जपति. यदा अस्य षोडशकस्य सार्धत्रिकोटिः जपति. तदा ब्रह्महत्यां तरति. तदा ब्रह्महत्यां तरति. तरति वीरहत्यां. तरति वीरहत्यां. स्वर्णस्तेयात् पूतो भवति. स्वर्णस्तेयात् पूतः भवति. ऋषलीगमनात् पूतो भवति. ऋषलीगमनात् पूतः भवति. पितृदेवमनुष्याणाम् अपकारात् पूतो भवति. पितृदेवमनुष्याणाम् अपकारात् पूतः भवति. सर्वधर्म परित्याग पापात् सद्य शुचिताम आपनुयात्. सर्वधर्म परित्याग पापात् सद्यः शुचिताम आपनुयात्. सद्यो मुच्यते. सद्यो मुच्यते इत्युपनिषत्. सद्यः मुच्यते. सद्यः मुच्यते इति उपनिषत्. वाक्यांशः विश्लेषणम्. The विश्लेषणम् is in the columns. अन्ये सुबन्ताः कर्तृपदीयाः कर्मपदीयाः तिङन्ताः अव्ययाः. नारदः पप्रच्छ पुनः भगवन् अस्य कः विधिः इति. तम् उवाच ह अस्य विधिः न इति. शुचिः अशुचिः वा पठन् ब्राह्मणः सलोकतां समीपतां स्वरूपतां सायुज्यम् एति सर्वदा. अस्य षोडशकस्य सार्धत्रिकोटिः जपति. यदा ब्रह्महत्यां तरति तदा वीरहत्यां तरति. स्वर्णस्तेयात् पूतः भवति. ऋषलीगमनात् पूतः भवति. पितृदेवमनुष्याणाम् अपकारात् पूतः भवति. सर्वधर्मपरित्यागपापात् शुचिताम् आपनुयात्. सद्यः मुच्यते. सद्यः मुच्यते. सद्यः उपनिषत् इति. पुनः नारदः पप्रच्छ. अगेन नारदः आस्क्ड भगवन् कः अस्य विधि इति. व्हाट इज इट्स अस्य विधि. इट्स कोड ऑफ प्रैक्टिस इति. नो, विधि मीन्स कोड ऑफ प्रैक्टिस. तम ह उवाच. टू हिम, टू नारदः, he Brahma said, replied, न अस्य विधिः इति. देयर इज नो कोड. सर्वदा शुचिः अशुचिः वा पठन् ब्राह्मणः सर्वदा ऑलवेज. शुचिः, शुचि एडजेक्टिव, शुच की क्लीन, प्योर, क्लियर. सकलहंसगुणं शुचिमानसम्. वर्चुअस, पायस, होली, undefiled, unsullied, purified, cleansed, hallowed, honest, upright, faithful, true, guileless, correct, accurate. Note, many of these Sanskrit quotations here are worthy of study. And that study would give better understanding of this word Shuchi. But I am leaving it as a homework, Gruhapatha, or for self-study. So I will not go into the detail, otherwise this narration will become too long. So I have blocked all those quotations, and then we come to Ashuchihi. Na Shuchihi iti Ashuchihi. By Na Shuchihi iti Ashuchihi, meaning of Ashuchihi is opposite of Shuchihi. But since etymology word Shuchi is from Shuch, which also has another connotation, Shuchang, shoke, to worry, to sorrow, to grieve, Bhadihi Prathamaganiyaha Parasmaipadi. Set. Meaning of Ashuchihi can also be one who does not worry, who has freedom from worries, or one who does not lament. Va means or. But the phrase is Shuchihi Ashuchihi va. So various meanings of Shuchihi Ashuchihi have to be put together. Pathan. Pat dhatoho shatru visheshanam pathat. अत्र पुल्लिंगम प्रथमा एकवचनम. नोट, पठ, पठन, व्यक्तायाम वाचि, टू लर्न, टू रीड, टू स्टडी, टू रिसाइट. भ्वादिः प्रथमगणीयः परस्मैपदी, सकर्मकः सेट. So pathan means one who is busy, who is engaged in learning, reading, studying, reciting. Brahmana. Brahmana adjective. Brahmani feminine. ब्रह्म वेदम शुद्धम चैतन्यम या वेत्ति अधीते वा अन. Belonging to a Brahmana, befitting a Brahmana. That I think is a better meaning of the word Brahmana. Salokatam, Samipatam, Sarupatam, Sayujyam eti. Salokatam, being in the same world, residence in the same heaven with a particular deity. One of the four states, Salokatam, is one of the four states of Mukti. Sayujyam Salokatam Jayati Ya Evametat Sama Veda. This is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Mukti, feminine. Much, tim. Release, liberation, deliverance. Saha Mukti, Sati Mukti. Freedom, emancipation. Final beatitude or emancipation. Absolution of the soul from metempsychosis. Adhigatya jagatyadhishwaradatha muktim purushottamat tataha. Where mukti has sense one also. Leaving, giving up, abandoning, avoiding. Samsarga mukti khaleshu. Samipatam. Samipata is abstract noun from samipa, adjective. Sangata apo yatra, near, close by, adjacent, at hand. Samipam, proximity, vicinity. Samipam, samipatas and samipe are used adverbially in the sense of near, before, in the presence of. Sarupata, sarupatvam, likeness, assimilation to the deity, one of the four states of mukti. Sayujyam, intimate union, identification, absorption, especially into a deity, again one of the four states of mukti. Sayujyam salokatam jayati evam etat samaveda. Same quotation has been repeated. E iti. I dhatoho lati prathama purushaha ekvachanam. Note, I, in, gatau, to go. Adadihi, dvitiya ganiha parasmepadi. Sakarmakaha said. Brahmana shuchihi ashuchihi va sarvada pathan Salokatam, Samipatam, Sarupatam, Sayujyam eti. A Brahmin, clear on unclean, but recites the Shodashakam all the time, would attain mukti, final emancipation, either Salokata or Samipata or Sarupata or Sayujyam. Maybe all of them in that order. It seems this order Salokata, Samipata, Sarupata, Sayujyam is logical. First, Salokata into the world of the Brahman, then Samipata in close proximity, then Sarupata likeness, and finally Sayujyam absorption into the Brahman. One may grant that once one gets Salokata into the world of the Brahman, that entry is with no return therefrom. The other states, Samipata, Sarupata, Sayujyam, would follow in due course. Basically, Mukti, final emancipation, is emancipation from the cycle of births and deaths. The emancipation is of the soul. Unless emancipated, the soul will be reborn, donning another body, maybe of another species, and will undergo the travails of life. Although there is mention here for a Brahmin to be reciting the Shodashakam, it need not be construed to be restrictive only for Brahmins. It ought to be noted that the word Brahmana is basically adjectival, and meaning of Brahmana is befitting a Brahmana. The Shodashakam starts with Hare Rama. The deity Rama is eulogized in Sri Ramayanam. Author of Sri Ramayanam is Valmiki Rishi. The story goes that Valmiki Rishi, before he was advised to do penance, was a bandit, looting people who came his way, even killing those who resisted. Once he stopped Narad Muni himself. Narad Muni asked him why he was looting and even killing people. The bandit replied that he had a family to take care of. Then Narad Muni asked him to check whether his family would partake of his sins also. He went to his family. The family members replied, rather asked why they should partake in his sins. They never asked him how he was earning his livelihood, If he was earning it by foul ways, committing sins, that was his responsibility. The bandit asked Narad Muni how he can be relieved, cleansed of his sins. Narad Muni made him sit under a tree in the forest, advised him to recite just the name Rama with his eyes closed and not to leave the place until he would return. Narad Muni returned after long years. There was no sight of the bandit. An anthill had grown under the tree. Narad Muni put his ear to the anthill and heard a feeble sound of the recitation of Ram Nam. Narad Muni removed the avaranam of anthill. Because Sanskrit word for anthill is Valmikam, Narad Muni renamed the bandit as Valmiki. The bandit had become an awakened soul, a Rishi. Narada Muni advised him to pen whatever character, whatever caricature of Sri Rama came to his mind. That caricature is Sri Ramayanam. The story further goes that Narad Muni informed Sri Vishnu about Sri Ramayanam. It appealed so much to Sri Vishnu that he thought it good to reincarnate himself and live the life of Sri Rama. On the basis of this anecdote, there is a shloka by Bhavabhuti, Laukikanam hi sadhunam arthang vav anuvartate, Rushinam punaradhyanam vachamartho nudhavati. This is in Uttar Ramcharitam 1-10. Biographies of Laukikanam Sadhunam, great people, are basically linguism of life lived. However, Sri Ramayanam was life lived as was verbalized by Adya Rishi Valmiki. Sum and substance is that anyone who has molded one's characters befitting a Brahmana is eligible to recite the Shodashaka Japaha Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Rather, by reciting the Shodashaka Japaha, one's character will be molded befitting a Brahmin. A Sufi saint Kabir, a weaver, was such an ardent devotee of Sri Ram that his loom weaved the cloth even when Kabir did not run the loom. Rather, Sri Ram operated Kabir's loom. See the information about Kabir at https://.wikipedia.org. Very interesting information. यदा अस्य षोडशकस्य सार्धत्रिकोटिः जपति यदा अव्ययम when अस्य इदम this सर्वनाम अत्र नपुंसकलिंगम षष्ठी एकवचनम षोडशकस्य षोडशक नपुंसकलिंगम षष्ठी एकवचनम षोडशक set of 16 सार्धत्रिकोटिः सार्धत्रिकोटि संख्या विशेषणम अत्र स्त्रीलिंगम द्वितीया बहुवचनम सार्धत्रिकोटि स अर्धत्रिकोटि 3.5 crore 3.5 into 10⁻⁷ or 35 million. I did a trial recording. One recitation of the Shodashaka takes 5 seconds. So 35 million would take 165 million seconds. That is 45,833 hours. That is 5.23 years non-stop. This brings to mind a beautiful verse in Marathi by Sant Jnaneshwar. हरिमुखे म्हणा पुण्याची गणना कोण करी. Just recite Hari by mouth. Just recite Hari by mouth. Should one really keep a count of benevolence acquired? In Maharashtra, there has been a 7-8 centuries long tradition of devotees trekking a pilgrimage barefoot to reach the temple of Vithoba Mauli in Pandharpur on the crescent shore of river Chandrabhaga. They chant Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari. See about this pilgrimage to Pandharpur. A good information and many good interesting images are also there at this link. You can take a snapshot and put this in the address and check. Japati. Jap dhato ho. Lati prathama purushaha ekvachanam. Jap japang vyaktayam vachi manasecha. To speak, to meditate, to mutter, to speak nonsense. Japati. Vhadi प्रथमगणीयः परस्मैपदी. तदा ब्रह्महत्यां तरति. तदा अव्ययम. Then ब्रह्महत्या स्त्रीलिंगम द्वितीया एकवचनम ब्रह्मणः हत्या इति ब्रह्महत्या. ब्रह्मणः ब्रह्मन पुल्लिंगम नपुंसकलिंगम षष्ठी एकवचनम. As mentioned earlier, Brahman Pullingam means Brahma, the creator, or Brahmana, an ascetic. In the context of Brahmahatya, there is no question of slaying Brahma, the creator. So Brahmahatya means slaying a Brahmana, an ascetic. Hatya, han bhave kyap, killing, slaying, slaughter, murder, particularly criminal killing, as in Bhruna Hatya, Go Hatya, like that. Brahmahatya, the sin of having slain a Brahmin. Tarati, through dhatoho lati prathama purushaha ekvachanam. Through प्लवनतरणयोः, to cross, to float, to swim. भ्वादिः प्रथमगणीयः परस्मैपदी सकर्मकः सेट. यदा अस्य षोडशकस्य सार्धत्रिकोटिः जपति तदा ब्रह्महत्यां तरति. If one mutters the 16-worded quip 35 million times, the sin, as serious as the sin of slaying a Brahmin, gets washed clean. Lesser sins will certainly get washed. तरति वीरहत्याम. तरति वीरहत्याम. Note वीरस्य हत्या इति वीरहत्या. वीर अजय रक विभावश्च उणादि. Heroic, brave, mighty, powerful, excellent, eminent. Veeraha, a hero, warrior, champion. The word Veeraha can be taken to connote a Kshatriya. So, Tarati Viryahatyam is in logical sequence after Brahmahatyam Tarati. Swarnasteyat Bhutaha Bhavati. Swarnasteyat, Swarnasteyam Napusakalingam. Panchami Ekvachanam. Swarnasya steyam iti Swarnasteyam. Swarnasya, Swarnam gold. Napusakalingam Shashti Ekvachanam. Steyam theft. Napusakalingam Prathama Ekvachanam. Putaha, Pudhatoho Tavisheshanam Puta. Atra Pullingam Prathama Ekvachanam. Pu, Pavane, to purify, to cleanse. Bhadi, Prathamaganiyaha Atmanepadi. Sakarmakaha said. Pu, Pavane also means to purify, to cleanse. Kradi, Navamaganiyaha Uvepadi. Sakarmakaha said. Bhavati, Bhu iti dhatu, tasya lati prathama purushaha ekvachanam. Swarnasteyat putaha bhavati, becomes cleansed of the sin of stealing gold. By tradition, in Hindu society, Vaishyaha, the trading community, where rather even today are the rich people and would have gold. Stealing gold suggests an offense against the Vaishyaha. Brahmahatya was a reference to offense against the Brahmins. Virahatya has a reference of offense against the Kshatriyas. Swarnasteyam has a reference of offense against the Vaishyaha. Now, Vrushali Gamanat Putaha Bhavati. Vrushali Gamanat. Vrushali Gamanam. Napusakalingam. Panchami Ekvachanam. Vrushalim Gamanam. Iti Vrushali Gamanam. Vrushali, an unmarried girl, 12 years old. Particularly a girl remaining unmarried at her father's house in whom menstruation has commenced. Anyway, this is not very relevant. The mother of a stillborn child. Yeah. The fifth meaning, Shudra, female, or the wife of a Shudra. There needs to be etymological validation for all the meanings of Vrushali. Without etymological validation, the meanings ought to be conventional or borne by tradition. That is not convincing to me. Anyway, Vrushali Gamanat Putaha Bhavati is cleansed of a sin of having illicit relationship with a wife of a Shudra. The four words Brahmahatya, Virahatya, Swarnasteyam and Vrushali Gamanam summarize offense against every section of the society. Brahmanaha, Viraha, Vaishyaha and Shudraha. All in all antisocial conduct is sinful. And Shodashakasya Sardhatrikoti hi Japaha is a penance to be cleansed of all such sin. Then Pitrudeva Manushyanam Apakarat Putaha Bhavati. Pitrudeva Manushyanam Pitaraha Devaha Manushyaha Cha Iti Pitrudeva Manushyaha Iterator Dvandvaha. Pitaraha Pitru Pullingam Prathama Bahucham, forefathers, ancestors. Apakarat, Deva and Manushya, all these meanings are very clear, so I am not going into the detail of them. Apakarat, Apakaraha, disrespect. Pullingam Pachami Ekvachanam. Pitrudeva Manushyanam Apakarat Puto Bhavati. A householder is supposed to pay respects by offering yajna, sacrificial ritual, unto Brahman, Devaha, Pitaraha, Manushyaha, Bhutani. 5 yajna every day. Not observing this diktat is termed as indulgence in apakaraha, which is in turn sinful. The respects are symbolically performed by putting away 5 pinchfuls of the food in the plate before partaking the food into one's mouth. Performing these respects is reminding oneself that one came to life and continues to live only due to the grace of Brahman, Devaha, Pitaraha, Manushyaha, Bhutani. The 5 pinchful offerings are sort of prayers that they continue to be pleased and continue to shower their grace. Sarvadharma Parityagat Sadhya Shuchitam Apnuyat. Sarvadharma Parityagat. Sarvadharma Parityaga Papa. Sarvadharma Parityaga Papat. Sarvadharma Parityaga Papa. Napusakalingam Panchami Ekvachanam. Sarve Dharmaha iti Sarvadharma. Sarvadharmanam Parityagaha iti Sarvadharma Parityaga. Sarvadharma Parityagaha eva Papam. Sarvadharma parityaga papam. Sarvadharma, all codes of righteous conduct. The word dharma is wrongly translated in English as religion. If the original meaning of dharma was to be religion, then there would be no relevance of the pronominal adjective sarva. The fact is that one abides by many codes of righteous conduct, such as putra dharma unto father and mother, pati dharma unto wife or patni dharma unto husband, bhratru dharma with sister or bhagini dharma with brother, mitra dharma with friends, shishya dharma with the precepts. Parityaga, forsaking, not abiding by. Sarva dharma parityaga papam, not abiding by any of the codes of righteous conducts is sinful. Sadhyaha, readily. Shuchitam, shuchita, strilingam, dvitiya ekvachanam. Shuchita, the state of being cleansed. Apnuyat, आप धातोः विधिलिंग लकारे प्रथम पुरुषः एकवचनम. आप आपलंग व्याप्तौ, to obtain, to pervade, to occupy, to reach, to get. स्वादिः पंचमगणीयः परस्मैपदी सकर्मकः अनिट्. सर्वधर्म परित्याग पापात् सद्यः शुचिताम् आपनुयात्. May one readily obtain cleansing of the sins of not having observed the codes of righteous conduct. Maybe one be readily absolved of all such sins. Sadyah muchyate, sadyah muchyate, muchyate. मुच धातोः कर्मणि प्रयोगे लटि प्रथम पुरुषः एकवचनम. मुच मुच रुंग, मोक्षणे, to free, to liberate, to leave, to release, to loosen, to abandon. तुदादि षष्ठगणीयः उभयपदी सकर्मकः अनिट्. सद्यः मुच्यते, सद्यः मुच्यते. The one who षोडशकस्य सार्धतिकोटिः जपति, mutters the 16-worded quip 35 million times, is readily liberated. Yes, he is readily liberated. Note the duplication sadhyaha muchyate is according to the convention to suggest end of the text. Iti Upanishad. Iti here ends Upanishad. Strilingam prathama ekvachanam. Note the literal, rather grammatically correct meaning of Upanishad is adjectival, what stays in close association with. But convention assigned Upanishad to mean the text that says stays in close association with the Veda. Note, Veda is masculine. Hence, Upanishad, the text that stays in close association with the Veda, has feminine gender. Note, in Sanskrit, most words related to virtuosities are feminine. See, in Devi Suktam, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita, Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Then Bhakti Rupena, Buddhi Rupena, Shraddha Rupena, Shanti Rupena, Chetana Rupena. In Upanishadaha is summarized the virtuous, benevolent Vedic knowledge. So, Upanishad is Strilingam, related to Veda, which is Pullingam. Ityupanishad, that is the promise of this Upanishad. May I add an observation that the lines Yadasya Shodashakasya Sardhatrikotir Japati Tada Brahmahatyam Tarati Tarati Veerahatyam Swarnasteyat Puto Bhavati Vrushaligamanat Puto Bhavati Pitrudeva Manushanam Apakarat Puto Bhavati mention what benefits one would get by reciting Kalisantarana Upanishad. Many stotrani and Upanishadaha have such lines. This portion is called as Phalashruti. Phalasya karma phalasya shruti shravanam. This is contrary to the advice Ma karma phala heturbhuhu. Gita 2-47. Do not become interested in the fruits obtaining from the karma. Don't do karma by looking at, by having in mind what fruits will be obtained. That should not be your attitude at all. That should not be your mentality at all. But here, Phalashruti has been mentioned. Nevertheless, may the japaha Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare help us to wade through all difficulties at all times, including the coronavirus. May we recite the complete Upanishad. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. अथ कलिसंतरणोपनिषत्. हरिः ओम्. द्वापरान्ते नारदो ब्रह्माणं जगाम कथं भगवन् गां पर्यटन् कलिं सन्तरेयमिति. स होवाच ब्रह्मा साधुपृष्टोऽस्मि सर्वश्रुतिरहस्यं गोप्यं तच्छृणु येन कलिसंसारं तरिष्यसि. भगवत आदिपुरुषस्य नारायणस्य नामोच्चारणमात्रेण निर्धृतकलिर्भवति इति. नारदः पुनः पप्रच्छ तन्नाम किमिति. स होवाच हिरण्यगर्भः हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे इति षोडशकं नाम्नां कलिकल्मषनाशनं. नातः परतरोपायः सर्ववेदेषु दृश्यते. षोडशकलावृतस्य जीवस्यावरणविनाशनं ततः प्रकाशते परं ब्रह्म मेघापाये रविरश्मिमण्डली वेति. पुनर्नारदः पप्रच्छ भगवन् कोऽस्य विधिरिति. तं होवाच नास्य विधिरिति. सर्वदा शुचिरशुचिर्वा पठन् ब्राह्मणः सलोकतां समीपतां सरूपतां सायुज्यम् एति. यदास्य षोडशकस्य सार्धतिकोटिर्जपति तदा ब्रह्महत्यां तरति वीरहत्यां स्वर्णस्तेयात् पूतो भवति वृषलीगमनात् पूतो भवति पितृदेव मनुष्याणाम् अपकारात् पूतो भवति सर्वधर्मपरित्यागपापात् सद्यः शुचिताम् आप्नुयात् सद्यो मुच्यते इत्युपनिषत्. ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ओम शांति शांति शांति. शुभमस्तु.